Across the sprawling Eurasian landmass, a complex tapestry of geopolitical shifts and domestic crises is rapidly unraveling, presenting a stark picture of escalating challenges. From widespread economic distress to strategic realignment in its Far East, recent developments within Russia paint a compelling narrative of a nation facing unprecedented pressures. Domestic economic strain, layoffs and fuel crisis. One of Russia's most significant employers, Russian Railways, RZD, recently announced substantial layoffs. This move is particularly noteworthy given RZD's immense scale and economic reach. Employing nearly 700,000 individuals, RZD is not merely a transport operator, but a vast conglomerate with interests spanning telecommunications, defense, and logistics, making it a pivotal entity within the Russian economy. The company's official statement cited bringing staffing levels in line with the actual volume of work performed, a euphemism that often masks deeper economic difficulties. This widespread reduction by the country's largest employer signals profound economic strain within the Russian Federation's labor market and industrial capacity. Adding to the domestic woes, the ongoing fuel crisis continues to intensify, with severe consequences for daily life and the national economy. Regions like Irkutsk have implemented drastic measures, restricting gasoline sales to emergency government vehicles only, making it impossible for ordinary citizens to purchase fuel for personal use or work. This scarcity is exacerbated by deteriorating road infrastructure, a consequence of significant sustained cuts in maintenance funding, reportedly 40% annually, making supply difficult for remote areas, especially as winter weather approaches. Additionally, labor shortages linked to military mobilization have impacted logistical and maintenance capabilities. Ukrainian forces have also maintained consistent pressure on Russian refineries, further disrupting the supply chain. This combination has led to widespread bankruptcies among small gas station chains. Remarkably, despite a 20% decline in global oil prices since early 2025, the cost of gasoline for Russian consumers has surged by 73% in the same period, indicating deep-seated market dysfunctions. This disparity highlights a severe internal economic crisis, reflecting decay and mismanagement within Russia's core economic sectors. Budgetary challenges and strategic responses. Russia is grappling with an escalating budgetary crisis, marked by a dramatic increase in domestic debt and the cost of servicing it. Historically, Russia cultivated an image of fiscal conservatism, prioritizing low debt and robust foreign currency reserves. However, this posture has dramatically shifted. The cost of servicing domestic debt has now reached 16% of total government expenses. Interest rates have soared to 23%, and the issuance of bonds has seen a staggering 600% year-over-year increase from 2024 to 2025. This rapid expansion of debt, coupled with exorbitant interest rates, creates an unsustainable financial burden. Compounding this issue, commercial banks are reportedly being compelled to purchase government bonds, diverting their capital from traditional lending activities like mortgages and corporate loans. This forced acquisition of government debt by commercial institutions raises concerns about the stability of the banking sector and represents a significant misallocation of capital. This strategy, while addressing immediate needs, risks undermining the broader financial system. Amidst these growing domestic and international pressures, President Putin recently addressed Russian Energy Week, an event often used for public relations. During his address, he touched upon various energy-related issues, including declining oil production, gas exports, and the Nord Stream pipeline incident. He acknowledged a projected 1% decrease in oil production for the current year, totaling 510 million tons. Furthermore, the coal market is facing significant challenges. Prices have fallen by 48% over the past year, and exports have plummeted by 60%. The Kuzbass region, a primary coal-producing area, is reportedly experiencing a severe crisis, with 70% of its coal mining companies having ceased operations, leading to unpaid wages and population migration. Putin also cautioned about the potential for localized electricity shortages within Russia. These statements, even within a controlled public forum, reflect a recognition of profound difficulties facing Russia's vital energy sector and shifting geopolitical landscape and military dynamics. On the military front, a recent incident saw Ukrainian drones successfully target the Balakovo electric substation in Russia's Volgograd region. This strike, occurring a significant distance from the Ukrainian border, underscores a strategic shift in Ukraine's defensive posture. The Ukrainian government has previously issued warnings that any sustained attacks on its own energy infrastructure would be met with retaliatory actions against Russia's power grid, including substations and power plants, not just oil refineries. This escalation reflects a clear intent to disrupt essential services in response to ongoing assaults on Ukrainian critical infrastructure, particularly as winter approaches. Further insights into military dynamics come from Ukrainian intelligence reports suggesting an expanding role for North Korean forces in the conflict. Specifically, North Korean troops are purportedly being deployed in Ukraine's Sumy region to support Russian military operations. These units are reportedly engaged in reconnaissance using unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, identifying Ukrainian defense positions and assisting in adjusting artillery fire. Ukrainian intelligence has documented communications between North Korean drone operators and Russian military personnel, reinforcing these claims. This increased reliance on North Korean units by Russian command is attributed to significant losses and a lack of success in offensive operations in the Sumy region, indicating a growing dependence on external military support. Beyond the immediate conflict, Ukrainian intelligence reports highlight a significant geopolitical shift in Russia's vast Far Eastern Federal District, a resource-rich region now increasingly under the economic and demographic influence of China and North Korea. According to a recent analysis, a weakened Moscow, preoccupied with conflict, appears to be making effective territorial concessions, potentially jeopardizing control over up to 40% of its own land. China's influence is primarily economic and demographic. Its investments in the region are substantial, projected to reach approximately $12.6 billion this year alone. This figure is significant considering Russia's estimated GDP of around $1.7 trillion. Furthermore, Ukrainian intelligence indicates a demographic expansion, with up to 2 million Chinese residents reportedly settling in the region, supported by visa-free regimes and preferential economic zones, leading to enclaves where Russian workforce presence is minimal. North Korea's involvement, while complementary, is also strategic. Over the past year, an estimated 15,000 official and potentially up to 50,000 unofficial North Korean laborers have arrived for construction, agricultural, and industrial work. Russian companies have requested an additional 153,000 contracts for this labor, from which Pyongyang reportedly profits up to $500 million annually. This arrangement positions North Korea as a major supplier of contract labor. These developments highlight a profound transformation of Russia's Far East into a zone of foreign control, a potent symbol of Russia's declining regional power and a shift in the balance of power across Asia. International developments and societal tensions. In a notable development on the international stage, proposals have emerged from a former U.S. president regarding a victory fund for Ukraine. This plan suggests that funding for Ukrainian defense, including weapons and support, could be generated through the imposition of substantial tariffs on Chinese imports, potentially as high as 500%. The proposal, reportedly floated to European partners, hinges on the condition that Europe also participates. Proponents of this approach argue it could serve a dual purpose, providing significant financial resources for Ukraine's defense and simultaneously incentivizing China to reduce its purchases of Russian oil, thereby pressuring Russia's economy. Meanwhile, incidents have been reported across Europe involving Russian citizens exhibiting confrontational behavior towards Ukrainians. One such widely circulated video depicts an individual, reportedly a Russian citizen residing in Switzerland with a Latvian passport, engaging in aggressive verbal altercations and issuing threats towards Ukrainians. These instances contribute to a tense social climate in some European nations, highlighting the deep divisions and animosity fueled by the ongoing conflict. In a curious display of rhetoric, The Kremlin's press secretary recently condemned Latvia's decision to deport certain Russian citizens, labeling the actions as inhumane, barbaric, and Nazism. The press secretary specifically highlighted concerns for the elderly. However, reports clarify that these deportations primarily affect individuals who have not met local language requirements, violated visa terms, or been convicted of crimes, rather than targeting the elderly indiscriminately. This official statement, while intended to criticize foreign policy, inadvertently underscores the severe conditions and perceived hardships within Russia, if returning there is characterized in such strong negative terms by its own officials. Conclusion: the confluence of these economic, military, and geopolitical challenges paints a complex and evolving picture for Russia. From the deepening domestic crises impacting its workforce and economy, to the shifting dynamics of regional influence in its Far East, and the ongoing international pressures, the nation appears to be navigating a period of unprecedented transformation. The coming months will undoubtedly reveal how these multifaceted pressures continue to shape Russia's trajectory on both the internal and global stages.